Alrighty then. Hello, and I see I have at least one other person here. We're just gonna wait a few minutes to see if we can get a few more people in here. Hopefully, you're having a good day. So we will have some few more stories tonight than we did last night. We'll have like 8, maybe 9, depending upon you know, if, if CBR and its anime session or section um, moves or get to it. But anyways, so hopefully you're doing well today. I myself, my some relatives came. Got 3 people now, so that's good. If we get 1 or 2 more people, I might actually start a little early here. As always, guys, I do of course appreciate any and all likes and shares. Helps get more friendly people in here. So hopefully, you know, hopefully you're all doing well. I said we're just waiting for a few more people to show up before we get started. And 1 person left, of course. That's sad. Yeah. So, anyways, I hope you're doing well. As I said, we're just waiting on some more people to show up. I guess if you're gonna lurk about, so be it. But let's see. Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. Find adventure that's beyond compare. They are the gummy bears. They are the gummy bears. 369 12 15 18 21 24 27 30. There we go. Hey guys. What's up, bro daddies? Hi, Mike from the Peanut Gallery. Hey, Woody, what happened to you last night? We missed you. Missed you, man. What happened to you last night? 369 12 15 18 21 24 27 30. Yo, back up. Then there's 3 in the family. Mama and Daddy had a little baby. Yes, they did. It's a magic number. Yes, they did. It's a magic number. Come on, 369 12 15 18 21 24 27 30. 369 12 15 18 21 24 27 30. Then there's 3 in the family. Morning, Wood. So how'd your day go? How'd your day go today, guys? You guys do anything exciting or anything like that? My aunt and cousins came into town for Thanksgiving, so they'll be here for the next week. So, I just watched that Schoolhouse Rock last week. Yeah. Picking up new fridge in the morning. Oh, okay, that's cool, Woody. Toys is here. Why don't we see a pregnant Barbie? Because Ken comes in another box. Oh boy. Toys, 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 toys. Yeah, so anyways, as always, guys, I do appreciate any and all likes and shares. If you can help out with that, that'd be appreciated if you haven't already. Um yeah, so it looks like about 4 of us here. We're at the 5-minute mark. So I guess with that being said, we got 4 of us here, so I guess I can go ahead. Maybe I'll wait a few more minutes at least, depending on how the toys. We missed you last night too. What happened? You and Woody were both gone. Missed you guys. I'll wait just a little longer, just see if we can get at least one more person come in. If not, and I will probably go ahead and get started pretty on the early side a bit here. Here's the magic number. Yes, it is. It's a magic number. Let's see. Question: where is terrorist go when they die? Everywhere. All right. Don't get the bit of that joke, but yeah. So, anyways. I was very exhausted from work. I got home and went to sleep. Oh, okay. Well, you know, you can always catch the replays if you can't make them live at least. So hopefully you'll get. Um, yeah. So, anyways, hope everybody's has had a good day today. We're just past 7 minute mark. Yes, the counter says 2, but we know the counter's screwy. I think we got more like 4 people in here. I guess so. I bought tools today. Nice Makita cordless and wet dry vac. I killed another mouse last night. Die, you little vermin bastard. Okay. Alrighty then. Let's see. How about that? It's a joke. It ends with a bang. Okay. Yeah. I got a PS5 today. Okay, that sounds cool. Hey, Woody, you still here, man? You still with us? Okay, so we're at the 8 minute mark. So I guess I'll go ahead and start at least talking about what's on tap. So once again, we're gonna actually start off with we've got 8, maybe 9 stories tonight to go through. 4 from Bounding into Comics and 4 to 5 from CBR. The first 3 stories all kind of interrelated, all animated, cartoon, all revolving around the X-Men 97 cartoon coming out, kind of the continuation from the 90s X-Men series. Some interesting stuff there, including showrunner Eric Walt talking about this series is going to focus more on adult themes, followed by one of the supervising producers showing us once again what people in Hollywood and seem to think of fans. As we have a supervising producer who basically tells people, "F Trump, Trump's still your boy. F you too." So we'll get into that. There's an opinion piece um, on whether or not the new X-Men series, the X-Men 97 series, will be any good or not due to the fact of, as they said, 2021 writing. Lucasfilm is partnering up with Dark Horse Comics again to to um, to to do some Star Wars comics. Also on the anime side of it, Funimation's got a new release. We'll talk a little bit about some seinen, some JoJo's, and much more. So, anyways, just past the 10 minute mark now. So why don't we go ahead get started. Hopefully, everybody's buckled in for show here. Here we go. So let's get started on these articles. Um, my sister just came in, and I need to go talk to her for a quick sec. So I'll be right back, guys. Alrighty then. All right, so let's get into this, guys. All right, let's get into the article now. So the first one here, first article of the night here. X-Men, the animated series showrunner Eric Lewald says new X-Men 97 series will have a focus on quote-unquote adult themes. Article by John F. Trent, published earlier today. X-Men, the animated series showrunner Eric Lewald recently provided, and this is the same guy who ran the show back in the 90s as well. So just as a little bit of a recently provided an update on what Disney's plans are for their upcoming Disney Plus series X-Men 97. There's the header right there, X-Men. And I guess the reason they're calling it X-Men 97 is because, it's a continuation from the last story. So Disney announced that X-Men the Animated Series would get a sequel series in X-Men 97 on Disney Plus as part of their Disney Plus Day presentation. In a press release, they revealed X-Men 97 is quote an animated series from Marvel Studios that explores new stories in the iconic 90s timeline of the original series, unquote. They also announced that Bo DeMaio would be the executive producer and head writer. So there's a scene from, I think, one of the first episodes of X-Men. Of course, Cal Dodd, who did the voice of Wolverine, right there. Yeah, if anybody remembers that scene, they know what's coming next. The claw is going to go through that frame. I'm sure a lot of people would be happy to see that with that picture there instead of. So, anyways, appearing on the Power of X-Men podcast, Lewald, alongside his wife and fellow writer on the X-Men animated series, Julia, provided some details on what Marvel Studios and Disney Plus have in store for X-Men 97. There you go. Lewald said, "We really pushed as hard as we could against the restrictions of being a kids show on Saturday morning. But those were real restrictions, and these folks won't have those restrictions." He continued, unquote. He continued, quote, "I think they are focusing this more. The audience they are thinking about are the core audience, maybe teens on Disney Plus and adults. And so it was a weird new push for us to have adult themes in the show. They're starting out with adult themes. So they're starting out with thinking of this as a bunch of adults thrown together, struggling with something, and we're going to show the melodrama, and we're going to show you some of the personal things that adults go through, unquote. So transitioning a children's cartoon into an adult show. Okay, yeah. Uh, Tell your sister action says, "Hey girl, uh, dude, nice can't get dude, nice can't get him here. Did you pay much over retail? No, just retail, just right place, right time." Any news on Kyle, BG? Luol elaborated, quote, where we kept on, at least at the beginning, getting weird questions from various people involved saying, in smaller quotes, well, are kids gonna watch this? And now we prove that they could. This new show is going to start out without, we can't tell you any specifics, but they're going to be able to tell adult stories without looking over the shoulder and wondering if this is going to be kid friendly for Fox Kids, unquote. Yeah, that's from the episode Slave Island right there. Later in the video, Julia detailed that the original plan to wrap up the series, she said originally the game plan was to wrap the series up with the 4-part Beyond Good and Evil. Yeah, I did hear about that too. Beyond Good and Evil was actually supposed to be the last arc of episodes, but apparently they decided. Let's see. Quote, to have been able to wrap up the show with those 4 stories, I think would have been very satisfying, if I can say that. A real coda to the show back then, unquote. Eric Lewald then said, quote, we are excited. The couple of voiceover artists that have spoken to us about scripts they've seen are very excited. They say it feels like 1992, unquote. And of course, if you remember, we just also read an article yesterday about one of the voice actors from that time saying that she basically wanted to give up her role as Jubilee. So an Asian American actress or Asian Canadian actress, because this was, I think, done up in Canada, could do it. So he is from the scene Nightcrawler, the episode Nightcrawler. What do you make of Luwald's update on the new show? Are you interested in seeing what kinds of adult themes they will include? Well, possibly. If the idea is they're garnering to the audience that grew up on it, you know, that might be an interesting take. That is, if they keep the woke stuff out of it, but as we know, they probably won't. Hmm. Dude, F that, literally, it's black market or nothing down here. Blame Canada. Yeah, MSNBC is banned from courtroom for trying to dox jurors. They are clown like bad guys from a bad 80s movie. Ah. All right. So, anyways, let's now on to the next story. On to the next story here. From the files of how not to talk to fans. How from the files of how to drive people away from your product. uh, X-Men 97 supervising director Jake Castorena's pinned tweet reads, quote, F Trump, he's still your boy, F you too, unquote. Article by John F. Trent, published earlier today. So let's see what this guy has to say here. And I remind you, this is how not to endear yourself to people, obviously, especially those you want to actually watch your show and so that they go to the advertisers of your show and buy their stuff. The supervising director for Marvel Studios' upcoming sequel series to X-Men, the animated series X-Men 97, Jake Castorena, makes it very clear that he does not like President Donald Trump and his supporters. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of those supporters are not going to be giving him their money. Castorena's pinned tweet on his official Twitter profile appears to be a picture of him riding a skateboard in a parking garage. The image appears to feature superimposed writing that reads, F Trump, he's still your boy, F you too. Yeah, that's a nice way to really endear yourself to people. Look at this guy. Does he look like somebody you'd actually want to buy something from? Quite honestly, to me, he kind of looks like a terrorist. Quite honestly, in that pic. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Bleep Trump. He's still your boy. Bleep you too. Well, I know I'm not gonna probably be buying anything for him. Not only does Castorena express disdain for President Donald Trump and his millions of supporters, but he's also a Black Lives Matter and defund the police supporter. He also uses the phrase "all cops are bastards," a cab. Yeah, this guy really must have got an A in the class on how not to impress people, on how to drive away your customers. See what Batgoat has to say here. Look at this tough guy with the enemy mask worn incorrect. With the enemy mask worn in. Don't you mean enema mask, Batgoat? Bet he's a 5'2" tough guy. Yeah, it kind of looks like a terrorist though to me. That pic. Okay, back in June 2020, Castorena posted to Instagram an image that reads, "I will not be posting any art this week. I will not take focus off the issue at hand. It's not over. We must keep focused and moving forward. I guess he's talking about, of course, the George Floyd situation. He captioned the photo, writing, "quote Racism doesn't take a day off." And this yeah. I wonder how many books. How wonder this kind of thing may actually keep people from actually watching that series, because they may not want to support it now because of this clown. Anyone who wears a mask is my enemy. Hmm. A day later, on Twitter, he shared an image that shows a police officer kneeling on a man's neck on the American flag. Image reads, "United States of America." Castorena captioned the photo, writing, "quote Are we great yet? Well, we probably would be great if we could get rid of people like you." Castorena. Oh, look at that declaration right there. The guy who's getting kneeled on is in red, white, and blue, and then the flag has been turned to blue and to black and blue with a dark blue person on him. Yeah, this guy's a real class act. In case you forgot, Black Lives Matter made it abundantly clear on their website that one of their main goals was to, quote, disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages, unquote, quote unquote, that collectively care for one another, especially our children, to the degree that mothers, parents, and children are comfortable, unquote. Their website also claimed they, quote, do the work required to dismantle cisgender privilege and uplift black trans folk, especially black trans women who continue to be disproportionately impacted by trans antagonistic violence, unquote. Well, if I understand correctly, I think some of that violence may even come from your own community there, buddy. So, one of the group's co-founders, Patrice Cullors, also described herself and the organization as trained Marxist. In other words, traitors. Traitors who've basically committed the crime of tyranny and should be dealt with accordingly. Um, but BG, we all wear masks, metaphorically speaking. Yeah, I think in this case, action, I think he means the mask of the government is making you making you wear. Speaking on behalf of Black Lives Matter, Cullors also said, quote, the demand of defunding law enforcement becomes a central demand. And with that demand, it's not just about taking away money from the police, it's about reinvesting those dollars into black communities, unquote. On Twitter, the group's Los Angeles branch tweeted, quote, we don't want to hug the police. We don't want to kneel with the police. We don't want to meet with the police. We want to defund the police. Yeah, basically, BLM is just a domestic terrorist group that needs to be dealt with accordingly. They also tweeted, defund and dismantle. It definitely appears that Disney has hired an activist who supports a racist organization. But this really shouldn't be a surprise, as Disney CEO Bob Chapek made it perfectly clear what Disney's values were as he lied to the entire world about the firing of Gina Carano. Mm-hmm. When asked by a shareholder if the organization blacklists conservatives at the Walt Disney, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I gotta be thinking that Walt Disney's got to be turning over in his grave. I don't know if some of you remember watching some of the specials that he was involved with, but I get a major impression that Walt has got to be turning over in his grave right now because of how the people running his company now, company he founded, how they treat people like this. Now granted he may ideologically may agree with him on some points, but still I as I always thought, I don't think Walt ever would have allowed for this kind of behavior from them. That's just my feeling on it. I don't know if you guys have anything more to say to that. See, shrimp cocktail for dinner. The the sauce is wicked. Horseradish. Whoa. So, anyways, okay. The Walt Disney Company's 2020 at the Walt Disney Company's 2021 annual meeting of shareholders, Chapek said, "I don't really see Disney as characterizing itself as left-leaning or right-leaning, yet instead standing for values that are universal, values of respect, values of decency, values of integrity, values of inclusion." He continued, "And we seek to have not only how we operate, but the content that we make reflective of the rich diversity of the world we live. And I think that's a world we all should live in harmony and peace." Hollywood, California, October 18th. Left to right, executive producer and Marvel Studios co-president uh, Louis D'Abbazito and CEO of Disney Bob Chapek arrive at the premiere of Marvel Studios Eternals October 18th. So Bob Chapek's the bald guy on the right there. The Walt Disney Company also outed itself as a racist organization when it implemented its critical race theory infused program, Reimagine Tomorrow, quote unquote. The company was outed by journalist Christopher F. Rufo back in May that their Reimaging Tomorrow program contained a number of modules attempting to teach employees how to be racist while calling it anti-racist. Okay. In the documents, Disney claimed, quote, the murders of Breonna Taylor, Sean Reed, Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, Tony McDade, Nina Pop, Rayshard Brooks, Adame Traore, and countless others are part of a long history of systemic racism and transphobia. I call BS on that. Imagine being famous for a stupid cartoon mouse. Walt Disney to a friend, he was a notorious prick. Do you know the story of Epcot before he died? Ugh, I hate. Well, okay, back on. I watched a few of those specials. You know how they'd have him in the studio and he'd be talking about. Um, he at least always presented a public image of being harmonious. So I don't know, but I guess I'll take. I myself, from what I had seen myself of him, he didn't seem like somebody who would put up with this type of behavior. But again, I wasn't there back in the times he was alive, so I couldn't really tell you. And no, I don't know the story of Epcot before he died. Anyways, they also instructed white and non-black people, quote unquote, to quote examine and work through feelings of guilt, shame, and defensiveness to understand what is beneath them and what needs to be healed, unquote. The documents also instruct them to, quote, not question or debate black colleagues, unquote, lived experience. Yeah, right. Instead, quote, white and non black people, unquote, should, quote, acknowledge and listen with empathy when black colleagues share their lived experiences. Translation: feel sorry for them and let them get away with bad behavior. That's what that is. Feel sorry for them and let them get away with their bad behavior. It's okay for black people to behave badly, to ARP and murder because at one time in their family's histories they were slaves. That's what they want you to that's what they want you to believe. But what they also seem to forget is that over in South Africa, it's the exact opposite. It's the black people who were being racist against white people with apartheid. But of course, if you were to call them on that, call them out on that, they go, "Oh no, that's okay," So or we don't really talk about that. No. Rufo would eventually claim in May, quote, multiple sources have told me that Disney has completely removed its diversity inclusion program from the company's website, effectively scrubbing it out of existence, unquote. I wonder why. He added, quote, Disney was peddling the most toxic elements of critical race theory, and my reporting led to immediate changes within the company, unquote. Mm-hmm. All right. The truth is simple. Corporate diversity and inclusion is a scam. It's a reputation laundering mechanism for corporations and divides Americans into competing um, racial categories. Shut it down, unquote, he concluded. It's kind of funny for all their preaching of tolerance and stuff like that. If anything, organizations like Black Lives Matter and and Black Lives Matter and Antifa are actually far worse than the KKK or the Black Panthers. Okay, they are far worse. Black Lives Matter is a domestic terrorist organization and should be dealt with accordingly. However, in September, Disney launched their Reimagine Tomorrow campaign publicly. Again, it's no surprise that Disney would hire an extreme activist like Jake Castorona when the company is actively trying to propagandize its employees with extreme racism. Kind of funny. They're claiming to fight racism by being racist themselves. That's kind of an idiotic concept. Let's see now. Major hypocrite from videos I've seen. Epcot was supposed to be this glorious city where up to 10,000 people would live in this weird, futuristic city with cookie cutter houses, and they had to work wherever they were told. It was such a communist thing. It was ridiculous. He was weird. Okay. Defunct Lord has a good video on it. All right. All right. So is everybody still here? I know Batgoat's still here, obviously. Toys, Woody, you still with me, guys? We got one more X-Men 97 story to go through. Yeah, I just waiting. Still your boy. That what a doofus. That's so 26. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I'm good. So you guys are still here. Alrighty then. So let's get on to. Yeah, drop in to say drop in this. All right. So, anyways, let's get back to the articles here. Should be X-Woman. All right. So, opinion: X-Men 97 with 2021 writing. Incoming disappointment. Article by Donald Edmonds, published earlier today. Debuting in 1992 as part of Fox's morning cartoon lineup, X-Men the Animated Series managed to capture the essence of the comics, even adapting a number of fantastic comic book runs such as Days of Future Past, The Phalanx Covenant, and the Phoenix Saga, just to name a few. The animated series ran for 5 seasons, ending in 1997. And with that, a return of the series was announced for Disney Plus, seeking to continue where the series left off. At least that's the promise. However, there are hesitations about any classic franchise getting made in current day. So while there might be some excitement for the X-Men 97 series, the current state of Marvel writing might give audiences of the classic show a justifiable reason to hesitate. Censored. Displaying any uh, sexualizing of women. Custom. Creatives and TDS. Oh boy, this is kind of a follow up, probably to a story that we just read. Unfortunately, the supervising director for X Men '97 has made his politics clear. In a post from last year, we see language indicating Jake Castorena. That name's kind of like Castorena because it actually comes close to another word that has to do with the elimination of males' genitalia, if you get what I mean. uh, Castorena castration, maybe. Boy. It should be ex ma'am. Oh, kind of like no ma'am from Married to Children. Let's see. Okay. In a post from last year, we see language indicating Jake Castorena's politics, particularly towards audiences who might have voted differently than him. Now, while this might not indicate what creative direction he takes for the show, it caused fans of the old series to raise an eyebrow. Brad, do you buy some Brad Pay? Yeah, I wonder how this guy's going to react if and when Trump gets reelected. If he decides to run again, he ends up getting elected again. Wonder then. Heck, seeing the show's creative team taking such a stance against people based on their voting preferences might even turn a few audience members off the show altogether. We could overlook Chris Evans' political takes to some extent, at least, because he had limited creative influence on the MCU. However, there's always a hesitation when a writer or someone with creative control not only has these sort of takes, but also denigrates audiences who might have different ones than themselves. Yeah, just acting like a freaking communist, like a terroristic communist. Hmm. Regarding politics, there have been arguments about, quote, how it was always part of X Men, unquote. However, the issues were always more based in humanist values than anything else, rather than on the nose moralizing about climate change, and gender identity, topics which make little sense in a fictional world where multiple realities, astral planes, and shapeshifting exist. Identity politics. Then there's the idea of representation in voice acting. Now this is it's almost counterproductive to their argument because we saw this with the Allison Court article yesterday where she said that she stepping down from the role of Jubilee so Asian American actress or Asian Canadian actress could play the role. However, if anything, doing this actually makes you a racist. Saying that only Asian people can voice Asian characters, it kind of makes you a racist. So, I mean, then there's the idea, okay, and we saw that, whose proponents believe that a cartoon character needs to be voiced by someone of the same race. That has run its course through the industry. It's what led to stories. It's what led to storied voice actors like Hank Azaria and Harry Shearer resigning from providing the voices of Apu and Dr. Hibbert, respectively, on The Simpsons, or even saw similar roles recast for shows such as Big Mouth, Bob's Burgers, and Family Guy. With that, we are seeing the original voice actor of Jubilation Lee, Allison Court, stepping away from reprising her role in voicing the youngest X-Men. The actor expressed desire for an Asian to voice the character, and that if she was asked to reprise the role, she would refuse. By itself, not too much cause for alarm, but given the creative director's politics being upfront and as they are, it is more red flags. Yeah, it's just kind of stuff that I mean, I watched the original X-Men the animated series. It was a pretty good show, and if not for some of the garbage here, I might consider watching X-Men '97. Might be seen, if they took it with the same way they wrote it back in the '90s and the same mindset they did back in the '90s, instead of trying to put in the woke garbage, you know, could be something that could be Here's another custom where you see in the one shot Wolverine looking at the picture. Now, I wonder if they also remember the next thing he did in like the very next moment where he put one of his adamantium claws to the picture there. Wonder if people remember that. Yeah. Uh, okay. Destroying the past X-Men. We are seeing a current trend in Marvel, well, in Hollywood as a whole, really. Characters who came before are being denigrated in order to elevate the new and upcoming characters. In the MCU, Captain America is an old man rumored to be on the moon. And now we have a black Captain America lecturing world leaders to, quote, do better, unquote. The difference in characterization between Loki in his solo series and his days in the original Avengers film make his current direction feel like a joke in comparison. Less a villain and more a clownish shadow of his former self. Loki, Tom Hiddleston, in Marvel Studios' Loki, exclusively on Disney Plus. For the women of Marvel, Black Widow's characterization changed over the years to the point she's no longer the femme fatale she was introduced as in Iron Man 2. Even Scarlett Johansson has come out to criticize how apparently misogynistic the portrayal was in those earlier films. Wanda Maximoff is portrayed in WandaVision, as portrayed in WandaVision, is an outright villain. She imprisons an entire town population without facing any consequences for her actions. Thus, we have two women written to be powerful, independent characters, but without any actual thought or effort put into writing them outside of exalting them beyond any scope of reason. Basically, translation: SJW's wet dream. Let's also consider the upcoming Marvel films. Thor is to the getting to the dropped for a better ruler of Asgard in Valkyrie, and an even better quote unquote Thor in Jane Foster. Hawkeye will get an apprentice in Kate Bishop, who will most likely show him up in the archery field, and will get to see a smarter, all around superior iron person in Riri Williams. Not to mention the Ms. Marvel show, She-Hulk, and now Echo looking to replace the characters whose legacies paved the way for their creation. "2021 current film red flags. Even COVID era money still comes up short. Eternals and Shang-Chi haven't made big waves in theaters, though this hasn't stopped access media outlets from being quick to make them out to be triumphant and pivotal moments in cinema history, even though the box office numbers have hardly made up for the production budgets. These results speak to the fact that despite Disney's attempt to market these films as cornerstone moments for this or that community, their writing is putting off audiences. Marvel Studios VP, and whatever title she has now, Victoria Alonso, recently stated that the critics weren't, quote, with us, unquote, implying that said critics were against what they are doing. But the 75% drop for Eternals in its second week isn't helping her argument, as fans are turning away from it too. Fans are turning away from it as well. So, well, you guys still there? You guys still there and listening? Okay, Marvel Studio. Oh, okay. We saw that. Okay. All the while, another Marvel film devoid of pandering, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, has managed to pull just as well in the box office numbers. Yeah, maybe they should release Venom and Carnage on the Marvel offices and let them devour these idiots. Add to that the excitement surrounding a certain web slinging Sony film coming out in December, which looks to provide ample fan service without highlighting Marvel's outreach for diversity, casting, and messaging. And that's clear that Marvel's current direction is misguided at best. Now we got 2 people watching. As always, I do appreciate any all likes and shares. If you can help out with that, be great. Yeah, we're marked now. All things considered, I have little confidence that X-Men '97 will continue where the X-Men in name only. All things considered, I have little confidence that X-Men '97 will continue where the original TAS series, the animated series, left off. I'm sure the costumes from the film, from the Jim Lee era books, and the voice actors from 20 years ago will be a hit of nostalgia for some, but the writing, especially in stories they want to adapt from the comic books, will most likely be the weakest, if not the most damning aspect of the show. Though considering what we've seen from the creative involved with the show and the environment of Hollywood writing in 2021, damning might be too kind of a word to describe it. I would hate to see a rumored live action X-Men come to fruition under the atmosphere of today. Deadpool 2016. I'm just looking at this guy at the far right here. It looks like he got one big splotch on half his face or head or whatever. And you see a live action beast right there. What do you think of what's coming from X-Men '97? Do you think Disney Plus show will be faithful to in tone and theme original series? Sound off? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think it will. Yeah. So, anyways, um, now moving on to the next story. Getting ready to move on to the next story here. It goes to show you sometimes what a day can make. Because last night I had to stretch. I didn't even get an hour and a half. This right now looks like we might be. Alrighty then. Okay, Lucasfilm announces new partnership with Dark Horse Comics for new Star Wars comics. Article by John F. Trent published earlier today. Dark Horse Comics will once again be the home to Star Wars comics as Lucasfilms announced a new partnership with the publisher. Maybe they're getting tired of dealing with Marvel, maybe. In a blog post on the official Star Wars website, Lucasfilm detailed that Dark Horse will publish a, quote, new line of all ages comics and graphic novels expanding the Star Wars galaxy like never before, unquote. The blog post adds, quote, beginning in the spring of 2022, experience adventures in every era, from the High Republic through the rise of the First Order, and new and exciting stories produced in collaboration with Lucasfilm and Disney Worldwide. Okay, well, they're still dealing with Disney. That's going to be crapshoot. Possibly. Dark Horse Comics founder and CEO Mike Richardson provided some more details, saying, quote, the idea is to build up a Star Wars program that includes an ongoing series as well as an anthology. He added, quote, mixed in would be one-shots and specials. We'll see where they go from there. Initially, we will focus on stories featuring the High Republic. Unquote. that comment. Richardson then said, quote, Star Wars is near and dear to all of our hearts, and I've been a fan since I saw the original film 19 times during its original release. He continued, quote, I am thrilled that Dark Horse will once again bring new stories to life from this incredible galaxy. The Star Wars universe has grown over the years, and there's so many new opportunities for great stories. I can't tell um, you how excited we are to get started. And war. Lucasfilm Publishing creative director Michael Sieglein also said, quote, all of us at Lucasfilm Publishing are thrilled to be working with Mike Richardson and everyone at Dark Horse on comics and original graphic novels set in a galaxy far, far away. Quote, there are unlimited storytelling possibilities for all ages comics, and we look forward to collaborating with Dark Horse and with the best writers um, and artists in the industry to bring those stories to readers and fans all over the world, he concluded. Dark Horse Comics published some of the most notable Star Wars comics in the past, including Star Wars Legacy, Star Wars Darth Maul, son of Darthomir, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars Dark Empire, and more. Are you interested in seeing um, Dark Horse publishing new Star Wars comics again? So anyway, so there we go with that one. And I guess people are still going silent. So anyways, so moving on to the next set of stories. Then we're already past the hour mark. Probably have to start getting to them a little quicker here. Let's see what we will see on. Anyway. So we're gonna look at the anime-related stories now. By probably means that one of the stories I was going to do is probably gone now. Actually, two of the stories, okay. So a couple of the stories are gone because more stories got moved up into. So let's see, one. There's so we got a couple more here. Of them here. Let's see, where are we at on time here? Hour 9. So yeah, so probably be able to get up to an hour and a half at this point in just these two stories. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this one. So, Princess I, Courtney Love's foray into manga. Princess I was a 3-volume Tokyo Pop manga series created by American singer-songwriter Courtney Love and manga producer Stuart Levy. So as I understand, so Courtney Love, of course, former wife of Kurt Cobain, the late singer from Nirvana. She also had a music career of her own. And then Stuart Levy, I believe that might be the guy from Saban Levy. Maybe I'm not sure. Anyways, okay, article by Molly Kishikawa, published 13 hours ago. So here we go. Early to mid 2000s was a great time to be a manga fan. There were a lot of variations in titles and genres available, even more obscure ones that one wouldn't normally find. While today many titles are available for digital download and through sites like Amazon, some of the titles available back then have now been lost because of distribution issues or the loss of title rights. Tokyo Pop was one of the distributors of some of the most obscure titles, one of which was Princess Ai. The story follows the Ai, titular Ai, who finds herself in Tokyo with little memory of her past. As she struggles to remember who she is and where she came from, she meets and befriends a young musician named Kent. Over the manga's 3-volume run, Ai learns that she is the princess of a world called Island. Um, Not only this, but she is half human, half Dogen, an angel-like race that has waged war her against the humans of her home world. Because of her Dogen heritage, she's able to manipulate the emotions of others through singing. While she discovers when she begins work, which she discovers when she begins working at Club Cupid as one of their performers. Very interesting. JoJo series was released in 2004, included in 2006, with a sequel series distributed starting in 2008. Only 2 volumes of this sequel were released, although the third was scheduled for 2011. However, this was never released. Originally, Princess Ai was published in Wings magazine in Japan before making its way to the US in 2007. The first series was released in a 1-volume omnibus. A line of action figures was created by Bleeding Edge in 2005 with each of the 7 figures depicting Ai in various outfits and scenarios of the series. Despite how well the series appeared to be received, an anime adaptation was never mentioned. That would have been an interesting anime series. What's most surprising is one of the names on the cover of the series. Courtney Love, wife of Nirvana frontman Kurt Cobain, is credited as a co-writer for the series. She partnered with Stuart Levy, DJ Milky, to write the story, and with Masaho Kijurado and Ai Yazawa for the illustrations. In a 2003 interview, Love said that she viewed Ai as a fantasy alter ego and has always had a love of Japanese culture. When looking back at the manga with this knowledge, some of the important aspects of the series make a little more sense. Ai carries a heart shaped box with her at all times, likely referencing the Nirvana song Heart Shaped Box. Some people have even said that the character Kent somewhat resembles Cobain, being a blonde guitarist. Courtney Love right there. Mostly a distant memory for older manga fans, Princess Ai was just one example of the strange releases from the early 2000s, Tokyo Pop. It isn't unusual for celebrities to show their love of anime and manga by cosplaying or wearing merchandise. However, very few of them partner with someone to actually create a manga series of their own. Wow, that's cool. That's cool. Let's see. Well, at least now we know you're here. Stupid horror. She killed Kurt. Hope this fails. She really sucks. Horde person. How about I'm a jerk? Oh boy. Oh, Robert. Hey, Robert. How you doing, man? Hey, how you doing, man? I'm glad to see you here. Man, you've been coming in sporadically of late. If you can like and share the stream so we can get some more, friendlier people in here, that'd be appreciated. I hope you enjoy the content, albeit we got through everything already, or just about everything. There may be one more article I may read, but I'm glad you're here. Hey, Robert. Good relaxing after work. Well, I hope to see you around more. Really would love to see you around, more often. Anybody else in here? If you guys see Robert, say hi to him. Make sure he feels welcome. Um, yeah. So, anyways, um, so we had one more article here we were gonna do. Initially, we were gonna do like I maybe had four or five, but three of them got knocked out because of the rotation. So we're just doing the two anime stories here. We're at hour 18, so hello, Batgoat. You're not online tonight? Well, Batgoat usually joins me for the historical comics retrospect on Friday, Robert, if that's what you're talking about. As always, guys, I do appreciate any and all likes and shares. If you guys can help out with that, see if we can get some more friendly people in here, that'd be appreciated. Thank you guys in advance of that. So let's get to this last story then. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean gets one-shot spin-off manga. Jolene Cujo is in the next JoJo's Bizarre Adventure character. It is the next JoJo's Bizarre Adventure character to get their own spin-off, which will be written and drawn by Kimono Jihen Sho Imoto. Article by Michael Esterna, published 12 hours ago. Josuke and Josuke and the Rohan Kishibe aren't the only JoJo's Bizarre Adventure characters to get their own spin-offs. A new one-shot manga that will apparently star Jolene Cujo has been revealed. Albeit, I think they're spelling the name Cujo. I think it's Kujo, not Cujoh. I think Jotaro. If this is supposed to be Jotaro's daughter, then it's Kujo, not Cujoh. The new standalone story, which will be written and drawn by Kimono Jihen, Kimono Jihen's show Imoto, will be titled Fujiko no Kimyo na Shosei Jutsu. White Snake no Gosan, roughly translated Fujiko's bizarre treatment, White Snake's miscalculation. And I don't think they mean the band White Snake either. Just a heads up there. Or they could. Actually they could because they have been known to use real world music in the show particularly for their endings. So I could be mistaken on that. Cover image for the new manga features Julin Kujo, the protagonist of the Stone Ocean arc, being embraced by a previously unseen character who may be a new stand. The title for the series references Whitesnake, the stand of Stone Ocean's primary antagonist, Enrico Pucci, a prison chaplain who is seeking to remake the world according to Dio's wishes. The spin-off will be published in the next issue of Shueisha's Ultra Jump magazine on December 18th, so exactly a month away. And I believe will fall on a Saturday, I believe. Sho Imoto is best known for creating the dark fantasy shonen manga Kimono Jihen, which premiered in 2016 and is also published by Shueisha. The series tells the story of Kabane Kusaka, a human ghoul hybrid with incredible regenerative abilities and strength, who is searching for his missing parents. Imoto manga was adapted into an anime series earlier this year, which was produced by Aijido Animation Works, the animation studio behind the classic Genshinken anime and the ongoing ascendance of a bookworm series. I watched Evangelion movie yesterday afternoon with a friend. We couldn't make heads or tails out of it. Yeah, Evangelion's a bit surreal there, Robert. It can be a head twister. Kahula time. EG gonna rock now. Sister Christian on the time. Oh, the time has come. Don't you that you're the only one to wait? That was night to wait. That was Night Ranger. My bad. Motorin, fight for what is right. Are you Mr. Right? Are you alone tonight? Motorin, yeah, motorin. Anyways, back to the article. Let's see. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. On to the Imoto's One Shot isn't the only JoJo's Bizarre spin-off um, in the works. A new manga series starring Josuke Higashikata, the protagonist of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure's fourth arc, Diamond is Unbreakable, will also begin serialization in the next issue of Ultra Jump. The spin-off will be written by Kohei Kadano, the author of the acclaimed horror novel Boogie Pop and Others, and will feature art by Tosca Kurosama, the artist behind the No Guns Life manga. Additionally, the live-action TV series Thus Spoke Rohan Kishibe will also air 3 new episodes in Japan this December. The series focuses on Rohan Kishibe, who also originally appeared in part 4 of the long-running manga. Kishibe is a stand-wielding manga author who is said to be representation of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure creator Hirohiko Araki. The new Stone Ocean spin-off manga hasn't been confirmed for an official English release yet, but fans can still get plenty of Jolene when the 5th season of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure anime premieres exclusively on Netflix next month. The new season adapts part 6 of Araki's stylish epic and will release the first batch of 12 episodes on December 1st. Okay, so there we go. So that's pretty much it on the main stories tonight there. See how we're all doing here. Oh, let's see. We're at an hour 27, so we're actually coming up on an hour and a half already. You got my joke. You got my joke, though, Mike, because you said White Snake, so I did a Night Ranger song. I'm a dork. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, we're coming up on an hour and a half right now. Hope everybody's been enjoying the content. Well, unless there's anything anybody wants to ask me about or talk about niche wise, I guess we can start wrapping up. Because remember, tomorrow night's our historical comic retrospect, and I'll be, of course, sending you the link for the studio back out tomorrow, sometime tomorrow during the day. So tomorrow we'll be covering, of course, DC Comics, comics that went on sale from DC Comics in August. Be starting our August 1938 coverage, and we'll be doing that through the rest of the year here. So, yeah, and if you haven't already, if you guys can like and share the stream, we can get some more, friendlier people in here. That'd be appreciated. Cool. I'll be here. Yeah. Right, so one last chance here before I start to close it. Want to give guys one last chance here. If you guys want to bring anything up that you might want to ask me or talk about niche wise. Last chance. If not, then we'll probably start to wrap up. And in the roundabout, let me inside out. Roundabout was also used as a ending for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. If you're wondering why I just saying that. Ooh, do I know if I need you, but ooh, I'm dying to find out. Ooh, who do I know if I need? But ooh, I'm dying to find out. Night people. Yep. All right. Well, Troy, I hope to see you back here tomorrow night for the historical comic retrospect. Um, all right. Well, as it would appear that I think we're pretty much in. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up then. That goat saying peace toys. So with that, let me just do a quick review here. All right. All right. So without any further ado, today is Thursday, November the 18th, 2021. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and let's go ahead and take a look back at this day in each history. History, yes, back goat history. All right. So first off, today being, as I said, Thursday, November 18th. Let's take a look back at this day history. So the first stop we're gonna go back to 1998, which was 23 years ago today. On this date, 23 years ago today, the 30th issue of ElfQuest from Warp Graphics went on sale on this date for $4.95. That was 64 pages. So you might think at first that even for 1998, that was a kind of a pricey comic until you see how many pages it was. It was twice the size of what the standard um, comic books were at the time. So on this date, 23 years ago, 30th issue of ElfQuest from Warp Graphics went on sale on this date back in 1998. So with that, continuing on now. On this date in 2001, which was 20 years ago today, the WWF held its Survivor Series event at the Greensboro Coliseum in Greensboro, North Carolina. The results of it in the main event saw Team WWF comprised of The Rock, Chris Jericho, Undertaker, Kane, and Big Show, defeating the Alliance comprised of Steve Austin, Kurt Angle, Booker T, Rob Van Dam, and Shane Douglas in a 5-5 winner-take-all Survivor Series elimination match. In a match for the vacant women's WWF Women's Championship, Trish Stratus survived a six-pack challenge that also had Lita, Jacqueline, Mighty Molly, Jazz, and Ivory involved. That's won an immunity battle royal, last eliminating Billy Gunn. The Dudley Boys defeated the Hardy Boys in a steel cage title unification match. The Dudley Boys were coming in as WCW Tag Team Champions, while the Hardys were the WWF Tag Team Champions at the time. In another unification match, United States Champion Edge defeated Intercontinental Champion Test. You also saw Christian defeat Al Snow to retain the European Championship. And of course, the Sunday Night Heat match was Lance Storm, Just Incredible, and also known as the Impact Players in ECW, and Raven defeating Albert, Scotty 2 Hotty, and Spike Dudley. So that was that for that. and one more piece in each history before we head out. As that says 0. It is a roundabout. All right, so on this date in 2011, which was 10 years ago today, the Walt Disney animated movie, Happy Feet 2, premiered on this date. It made its United States debut on this date back in 10 years ago today. Happy Feet 2, distributed by Walt Disney. I kid. The wimps left laugh out loud. I kid. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. 10 years ago today, Happy Feet 2 premiered here in the United States. So there we go. So that's it for tonight. I thank everybody for being here. I said back good. I'll send you the link sometime during the day tomorrow for tomorrow's show, for the StreamYard side of it. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.